Hawaii Five-0. There's the old one with Jack Lord. And then there's the newer one with Scott Caan, Caan. And then who is the other one? Steve McGarrett is somebody, what is the name? Well, the name, I do not remember the name of Steve McGarrett character's actual name in real life. It's Steve McGarrett. What is wrong with it? Charles Cho was illegally influenced by this Hawaii Five-0 that he is allowed to be, I don't know, an intruder upon somebody's life who doesn't want anything to do with him. So what would you like to talk about? Because it's coming to a close. I still don't see anyone leave a comment that I have a sky-high mental capacity for somebody who's been sexually abused and sent off from society to be a pariah. Bad example for the children problem, and worse. There is also YouTube burden of proof that you have been informed. If you have watched the videos and you are working for YouTube, you've been informed that I have been abducted by hospitalizations with city address. And they call themselves psychiatry. And you are not supposed to be escalating the anger on YouTube and say, I should not use YouTube anymore. It should be kicked off of YouTube and go see some psychiatry. And you are not in the door locking, threatening. You are elsewheres. That means you have another burden of proof that you have to report yourself. You're not allowed to use YouTube. You have to report to the police that you see videos of someone who's really alive on YouTube. And there has been abductions to hospitals with city address. And you're trying to kill me in a hospital with a city address. And I don't have anywhere to go. I am not do elsewheres. You are do elsewheres. If you want to murder someone in a hospital, you must be in an upstate prison with the address deceased, which means you're out of the state at that point, but you have to go upstate. And then when you're in upstate, your address is deceased and no one knows where you are. It's the Area 51 problem. You cannot just attempt murder on myself over and over and over in a city hospital and discharge me with a city bus pass. permission to get on this city's bus. You're hysterical people. With shock paddles in the hospitals, and I can't get out. And then when you discharge myself and I can't get in, you send me off with a city bus pass. Permission to ride the city bus. You YouTube people who've been eating up the money on YouTube, you owe that each and every one of you who, before you make yourself a commentator, that you turn yourself into the police and you can make a statement about what you saw on YouTube and what you disagreed with, why you were even there watching it at your own expense because it was yours to yourself for a minute. Otherwise, you're just one more putting the pressure on what it is for me to be alive in this world. Joey Dvorkin. Joe Dvorkin. You're Joey Dvorkin to me, and you went by Joe Dvorkin. You're not allowed to Camp Interlaken if you have to change your name from Joey to Joe. Though Camp Interlaken knows you as Joey Dvorkin. If it's not Joey, we don't want to know why it's not Joey. It's Joe, it's Joe. We don't want to know why. Joe. Joe, that's goodbye, Joe Dvorkin. Benji Pearlstein. If you're Ben Pearlstein, that's also goodbye because it's Benji to the JCC camps. If it's Ben, that's goodbye. We don't want to know why it's Ben. We know it's Benji. If it's not Benji, we don't want to know why it's Ben. That's goodbye. You can't tell somebody you've been removed. Oh, and don't forget Andrew Adashak. Somebody is a seventh cousin twice removed. Oh, well, I can't say his exact words at this time. He said a number of a cousin and how many times removed. And he didn't say what removed means, and I'm really not allowed to hear it. Okay, removed means, is it like when you think somebody should be removed from yourself? Andrew Adishak, you can't expect God to remove somebody from yourself like you're God all of a sudden and your name is Andrew. So, I've made something estimate around 1,500 videos on YouTube. It's more than that. Okay, something like that. Okay, 2 YouTube channels, Charles Toe YouTube. One of the channels has a U in the letter, and the other one has an F in the letter. So those 2 YouTube channels, Charles Toe. So if I see you in the afterlife, because I have this question, I always ask about the afterlife because you stole the keys. So there's no alive there. Did you steal keys from me? You stole alive right there. That's meaning to see you in the afterlife about that you stole the keys in the alive. What is the rule for that? If somebody steals keys from myself, do I say, can we talk about this in the afterlife? I can't because you're doing a crime I'm not doing. I'm not in it with you. I made no such threat. You ruined another Godhead to myself. And I died out of another Godhead. Well, I'm disclosed as an adultery. That means it arrived past one deceasement. And then after that, I am talking about the afterlife through YouTube. But isn't that interesting that I have to say it through YouTube? And there is still a small window of some comments from people that I don't know this, but I would think that they don't know most of the things I talk about on YouTube, from who, what, when, where, why, and how. Like they weren't there and they don't know who was there because they weren't there, the commentators. So there's just a small window of a small number of comments about what I say, and then how that leads to me talking about the afterlife on YouTube and whichever videos I have said that in, although they are all written about the afterlife in heaven. But what precipitated me making the videos and talking about the afterlife are people who make threats in alive and have keys that are mine to myself, but the keys are yours to yourself, and they are not mine to myself that way to you. And you go away with that. and then you have all that alive went away somewhere, and you think it was just meant to be? How many of you are there? How many? Because I can't count them because there's so many. There's landlords from the apartments, and then there's the housing disaster fallout of my house and the rest of the houses. So you don't make threats that you're going to see me in the afterlife about the keys you went away with, and how you're going to be ongoing friendly with myself. Yes, but you still surprise me with that you went away sometimes forever, and there is money in that house. You're not a house, and neither am I. You're not a house, I'm not a house, and the house has multiple rooms. It's not a one-room house. You didn't go away with a one-room house with a key. You went away with a key with a house with multiple rooms, multiple levels, like a basement level, an entry level, and an upper level. And what about a two-cars garage? What about all the cars in there if they change every year? What if you have new cars, 2 new cars, and a 2-car garage every year? And you went away with that. And were you intending to be friendly with me after that? Because I didn't open the houses for you. I don't have keys. I don't have any keys. The keys that I'm using right there, those are deceased at this time, with all that it takes for me to just leave alive. That's where I am. I'm in the ending of the time right here. I don't have keys another way. Not in that you're killing everything that wants the keys just so I can die. And I don't own this place. Don't get angry with me. I don't own anything that's in dispute. If it's in dispute, it is. It's in dispute. And everything's going to die. I'm going to die that way. So let's say in the afterlife, if I was to see you and I was to say, did you not expect to see me? Like, for example, who? Abby Bush, B-U-S-H, like Bush Beer and Bush Gardens. Abby Bush, she's just a friend of mine from Homestead High School. And also Sharon Knopf House had a school yearbook for Lakeshore Middle School. Abby Bush was in the yearbook, and then I met her in real life at Homestead High School. So if I see Abby Bush in the afterlife and I say, I asked about you in year 2005. My mom was still alive at that time. Yeah, well, she didn't say that you were anywhere. Yep, I need her to find you because that's how I ever met you. Wait, I couldn't find you, Abby Bush. That's my mom asking you to pay for something for my future, and my mom couldn't find you. Well, couldn't or didn't? Well, she didn't have a problem, so she would have been just nice, just like you. Yeah. So is she at that point Abby Bush is just at the point has nothing to say in the afterlife? Would she say, oh, well, that's nice or that's too bad? Is that all she's going to say? What are you? Because why should I care about you more than you do? Because of Bush Beer. It's in order anyway. It was there anyway. Bush Gardens was there anyway. Abby Bush, you owe my mom $33,000 in cash in the summer of year 2005. Make it by August 1st, year 2005, because you have to come up with the savings account in cash for my mom so that I can get her to find you to pay out a house key to myself. That's you having abducted a house, and the money that's on a house which is in Park Place, not Illinois, state of Wisconsin, Mequon. What's the county? Ozaukee County, Mequon. That's where the house is. I was on the inside of the house. It's Park Place. That's where Abby's supposed to hold the house for me. If she's not going to give it to me empty, well, she has to get it empty for me. And then she owes me all the money. And then if you have to stand outside the house and tell everyone get out, you have to do that. You have to call the police and have the police the front of the house. Do you think it's easy to have me over at your house? I'm not. You're the one who's saying that you have the Bush beer problem all figured out, because you have you have Barbara Bush in the White House, President George W. Bush in the White House, and then you have they are BUSH, because they don't really hold BUSCH alive, if that was even going to be the name. But you say Bush and Bush, it's Bush BUSH or Bush BUSCH. It's still the same name. And then Bush beer. What kind of a organized crime is that? It can't be easy to have people around the beer brewery. So that's the problem there. Whether you think you make the beer, or if you think you drink it, or you think you hold it, you store it. You can't. It's beer, and it's like alcoholic, dangerous to the car. You shouldn't be with the beer in the car, and you don't have another way to get there. And that's Abby not having all those problems solved about herself and her last name Bush. Why do I even have to know her if she doesn't want to pay for her own last name? My last name, well, I'm paying for none higher than he deceased. I'm paying for it. I don't just tell you, well, I have to pay for none higher than he deceased, so this is what I need from you. No, you have to go with alive, that you're being created in your genitals. You can't just quit school and go hide in a house and say I'm not in there to yourself. She quit tennis and quit school, and she was hiding in a house in Mequon. Or wherever. Where was she when she's not in school? So I'll say this, Mom, Dad, if Abby Bush doesn't give me her house keys, you know why I can't say this? Because I really need another place to live. But this is what I should say. If in all, like, isolation of Mom, Dad, and Abby Bush, away from that, there was all of the people who don't have the last name Moser, same as mine. I have Mom and Dad and Abby Bush together, and I have to say, Abby Bush decided not to give me the house because she's going to keep it. Well, Mom's not a driver for me from ages 18 onwards for as long as I live, and we don't know. Well, I need Abby to be taken to Busch Gardens and dropped off there and left there because your last name is Bush and you stay at Busch Gardens. I need the house locked up empty. I need Mom and Dad to take her to, is this Florida? State of Florida, Busch Gardens, and leave Abby Bush at Busch Gardens because that's her last name and she's allowed to be there. And they should give her everything she wants there, but she's not allowed in the house she locked me out of anymore because I don't actually go there just to give you everything I need for myself. And my mom's still not going to drive me around in a car ever after age 18 and onwards. Abby Bush, what is wrong with you? My mom bought ice cream for Abby Bush for having me over as a guest. It was from Freddy's. It's not open anymore. Mequon Road and Port Washington Road intersection. It's a large intersection in Mequon near the entrance and exit to the freeway that goes to Milwaukee. So that's where the frozen custard was from. And mom bought it for Abby Bush, and she should cry that my mom did that for her, because she did nothing for me. And my mom can't just do nice things for people. She's not nice. And Abby, you are not nice is not excused.